Good afternoon to all the followers of Body, Mind, Soul Live Talk number 83. Welcome to Body, Mind, Soul Live Talk number 83, and welcome to you who is watching on Facebook as well as YouTube. And today we are here on the 83 episode to talk about the impact of family dynamics on individual. Together with me this afternoon we will be having Dr. Eva Wong to join us later. But before I welcome her to come over here, I want to ask the crowd or the audience, if you have any idea what is family dynamics is all about? Do you know the meaning of these two words when they add up together? Family dynamic. If you don't, you must also stay tuned with us. And if you do know what is family dynamics all about, share with us on the comment. Let me know what is your view, what is your understanding, and if you are looking at to how or what's the way to restore a healthy family dynamics, this is where we are going to dive in deeper, to dwell in together deeper with Dr. Eva Wong later. So at this point of time, I have some live viewer over here. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Who are we speaking with? And of course, your host, Christina Tang. Welcome to Body, Mind, Soul Live Talk. It has been happening ever since year 2020. That is why we have reached the episode 83. One of the main thing about this Body, Mind, Soul Live Talk is the engagement together with all of you. If you have any question, if you have any point of view, if you have any comments, we welcome you to type it on the comment box and let us know. Make sure that you are typing it directly on Body, Mind, Soul magazine page live or our YouTube, either one, so that it will reflect on our screen. If not, I won't be able to pull out your question. Before I invite the beautiful Dr. Eva Wong, or Eva in short, I have something great to share with all of us here. I want to remind all of you that Body Mind Soul has been running this free online self-development workshop quarterly for all our community members. Anyhow, it is free for everyone. Priority is given to community members. It's happening on the 27th March, 4 to 6 p.m. It is all about wisdom of love from within. And it will be conducted by Michael Wong, our grief specialist of the Golden Space Malaysia, with three main things that he wants to bring all of us through this journey, wisdom of love from within. It is to rediscover that true love actually comes from within. A lot of times we have been searching what love is all about, or what is the wisdom behind this power of love. And this is a class, or this is the workshop, which is a free online self-development workshop where we actually can discuss or even have a chat with the facilitator. It is also to expand our perception on the power of love and to use this love energy as a force, as a support to heal everything in our life. And it is free for everyone. The link has been published on our YouTube as well as our Facebook. Just click on the link bit.ly/WOLF WMW. It actually means wisdom of love from within, Michael Wong, and you can actually register and grab yourself a seat for yourself. Okay, so all of you who are quite shy at this point of time, I don't mind you being shy, but just let me know where you're coming from. And also, even though you are shy, but let's not stop yourself to actually warm up your palm together with me so that I can invite Dr. Eva to join us today. A professor or a PhD in educational psychology. Dr. Eva, I'm sure you are ready. Doctor, make sure that you unmute your mic before you come on board. And there you go. Hello.
Hi everyone. Hi Christina. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually to be honest, I've been telling everyone, you know what, I'm so excited that this Saturday I have Eva joining me. She's someone that I've been following for so long on Facebook, and
Ah,
finally, I can have
yeah.
her on board to talk
Mm,
about
mm, mm.
family, to talk about children education. It's something that is very dear to my heart, even though I am single, Eva. But
Okay.
in the past, when I think I've started follow your Facebook ever since, was it 2016 or 2017?
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
That was long
really
ago.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really long ago. And then I was
Okay.
telling my team,
Christina, give me 2 seconds.
yes,
2 seconds. I
sure.
adjust my lighting first.
Sure, sure, sure. Let me just move you to the back while you're adjusting your lighting. So I was just, sharing with everyone, yeah. So what happened is, in the past, I was really like always look forward to what Eva shared, because at that point of time, not many in the market or in the education system or educator that actually look into special needs children therapy, or the way to communicate with them. And I for myself personally, I love what Eva is doing, and I think she is ready. Hi.
Yeah, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, telling my entire team, I've been following her. I think, you know what, I'm just
Mm.
gonna give it a try and see whether Eva will be interested to come here and talk with our crowd. Because I know in the past, most of your sharing are in Mandarin, and
Yes.
our crowd is more on English. So really
Yeah.
welcome you. Thank you for
Mm.
saying yes to come to Body Mind Soul Live Talk.
Thank you for the
And
invitation.
yeah, before we
Mm.
go into really discuss what
Mm.
family dynamics is all about, I
Okay.
think it's also fair to let our audience know a little bit about you, Eva. What
Okay.
inspired you to go into this until you get a PhD in children educational psychology.
Okay. I think the driving force behind is my curiosity. Curiosity. I'm very curious because when I was in my university, I was doing part-time
Mm-hmm.
job and I was a tutor. So I taught children, and then you will be, I was very curious. How come children of the similar standard, but they receive
Mm-hmm.
informations in different way? I mean, they don't receive really what I told them, and some they seems to be like always in their own world. Some they don't play with the
Mm.
toys because the traditional norm is children like to play with the toys. Children are
Yes.
able to play with individual. Children enjoy social interaction, but I met some of the student childrens in totally different way. So that actually put me in a very in a thinking mode. I mean, so I was very curious about it, and then I was trying to look for more information. Then I realized that some
Mm-hmm.
students they are having issue with sensory. Some students they have autism disorder. Some they are in the
Mm-hmm.
category of attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So I try to look for
Attention,
different
sorry.
attention deficit hyperactive disorder. I mean, they are very
Okay.
hyper. They cannot even stay still, and then they are always on the move. They are not able to pay attention. So I was looking
Mm.
around and then trying to read some book, trying to look for my mentor, and then trying to get supervision. And then and now I realized that those students are in the category of special needs, and that's
Ah.
actually put me in. I think that's my mission. Then I have to do something about it. So I move forward and then trying to advance myself or equip myself with more knowledge to help them.
And how long have you been in this ever since your uni? If you don't mind to disclose your age a little bit.
I already been in special education industry for about 20 years. This is my 20 years.
Wow. This year
Yeah.
2022 is your 20th
Yep.
20th
This is my
anniversary. Wow.
strength. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad
I
I'm
mean,
still
it's not
here.
easy. Yeah, it's not easy,
I'm glad.
especially I think, if I'm not wrong, Eva, correct me if I'm not wrong, the first 10 years there are not so much of awareness as of now. I think now generally, because we are more open to receive information, it's more convenient. So the
Yep.
young parents, or the first time parent, it's easier for them to recognize certain patterns of behavior in their children compared to 20 years ago when you just
Yeah.
started.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we struggle a lot during the beginning of the setup because there are many parents they are not aware because I'm specialized in sensory integration training. That means I play a lot. I get children to move a lot. So we have a sensory room. The children's got to run, got to jump, to roll, to exercise their muscle, to move their body. So a lot of parents they don't understand. They thought, what for? I pay you the money and I let my children to play with you. They do not really understand about the philosophy behind that therapy. But along the year, yes, what Christina was saying, parents are starting to have more information. They read a lot. So there are a lot of research about sensory, about special needs. So they managed to accept this. So yeah, we are still doing this until now.
Nice, nice. And also a shout out, a quick shout out to all the audience. If you have any question, whether or not it related to the topic that we are going to dive in, which is family dynamics and it impacts on individual. If you have any questions about your children behavior, don't be shy and just write it out on the comment box. If time permits, we will definitely get Eva to answer you. If not, we will also get Eva to answer later after the live talk.
Sure.
So Eva, I think the first thing to kick off the topic today is what exactly the meaning behind family dynamics.
Okay, I think first of all, I have to make sure that everybody agree that family is very important. I mean, everybody should have no objections about this, right? Because we're all coming from the family. Without family, we're nothing. So everybody
Mm,
come from a family. Therefore, when we talk about family, we are not only talking about the nuclear family. Nuclear family means the family with one parent, one father, one mother, and children. We are
mhm,
covering more into like single parents. Some children are being brought up by grandparents. They are staying with grandparents. That's called grandparent family. We are talking
mhm.
about different form of structure. So it is no longer the
Okay,
traditional. It has to be one father, one mother, and children.
okay.
So if we get this concept correct, then we can move on to talk about dynamic. The term dynamic is very interesting to me because when we teach children, we ask children to draw the
Mhm.
house, to draw your family on the
Okay.
paper, correct? So everything printed on the paper seems to be very stagnant. But in fact, family itself is not stagnant. It is always changing. It is always moving. It is dynamic. So I particularly really enjoy this topic because it is so beautiful when you look at different formations of the family structure and you read
Mhm,
the behavior behind the parents and you
mhm.
understand how does the communications, the interaction, the emotional stability of the parents affecting the children. So that is the
Wow.
real pictures of family dynamic. So, I mean, when I look at parents, family, when I look at the children, then when I recall back the interactions with the parent, you are able to draw the link. Why children are throwing tantrum?
Connect the dots.
Yes, exactly. Why
Wow.
children they don't follow instruction? Why children they cannot speak well and they are not willing to follow? They are not willing to share because most of the time parents behave in this way.
This is
So
interesting. This
yeah,
is
yeah.
interesting. It's
That's
it's
why
like saying our children is a reflection of the adult or the
yes.
parent.
Yes. So when we talk about family dynamic, it is basically a set of rules that govern the family members, how they talk, communicate with each other, how they share with each other, how they interact with each other. So
Okay.
to me,
Eva,
this
we
is
have
really a very beautiful process.
okay. So we
Yeah.
are going to go into and understand more family dynamics in a beautiful way. But at the same time, I have a question over here which I don't really quite get it. By you, if you don't mind, can you explain further? Can I ask about parents' pattern as the child? Uh, I
Mhm.
think by you might need to explain a little further what is the question that you are asking, perhaps, and then we will get Eva to answer later. Okay.
All right.
So Eva, so you
Yeah.
talk about family is not like how children draw on a paper, which is stagnant. It is actually a dynamic because it's constant evolving, constant changing. So
Yes.
can we consider like what is a healthy family dynamic if that's the case?
All right. Healthy family dynamic mean functional. Function. When we talk about the
Functional.
function, yes, function as in the parents, they play active role to make sure that the children are safe and respected. I use the word respected because many of the parents nowadays, they are still using a very old method, like very authoritative. I set the rules, you cannot ask, you cannot negotiate, and you have to follow. If you don't follow,
Okay.
then I'll punish you, I will threaten you, I'll make sure that you get it. Right? That is still a very traditional method. I mean, I understand maybe some of us, we are going through that kinds of life. But when we
And
go through,
we grow up in that family dynamics
yes,
in the past.
yes, we've been through that. So we thought that would be the right way. So we bring those kinds of concept back to my new family. So that's maybe the
Mm,
way I'm dealing with my children. But you realize that at the end of the day, the children get very rebellious. They keep
mm,
everything to themselves and they're not willing to share. They don't even want
mm,
to talk to you. If they have the freedom, they have enough ability, most likely
mm,
they will leave the house and to be independent outside because they do not want to talk to the
mm,
parents. So that makes
mm,
many parents in a very difficult situation. So I have parents asking me, how come when my boy grown up to be 16, 17, and he is no longer wanted to talk to me, to share with me? So if
mm,
we trace back the way the boy is being brought up, then we might be able to understand why he choose not to speak to the parents anymore. Because he doesn't have the
mm,
right to speak. Every time he speaks
mm,
something, the parent sure will give a lot of negative remarks. Before
mm.
he managed to finish his sentence or managed to share his opinion, a parent might be stepping in to say, no, boy, you are not supposed to do this. This is not right. So we tend to create a lot of judgment even before we get the whole idea correct. So in
I
these
see.
situations, I would say that this family might not be really healthy. Although the children still can grow, like you and I, we can grow up. But inside here, our heart, psychologically, emotionally, I mean, we talk about well-being. Are we really that healthy?
Mm. I see. And Eva, can I assume a healthy, since you explain a healthy family dynamic is functionable and
Hmm.
it comes with a family actively sorry, the parents actively involved. So can I assume that the non-healthy family dynamic is the exact opposite? When you say non-functionable means how will it be?
Okay. Non-functionable as in the children don't feel safe. They feel very inconsistent in terms of parenting style. Let me give you one example. Many
Mm,
parents,
mm,
the way they react to children's certain behavior is very much depend on their mood. Like I'm busy today, I'm not in the good mood. When the children jump on the sofa, then I will stop. I will say, hey, you're not supposed to do this. You come down and I will scold you. But maybe today I'm in good mood. I have good, no, I enjoy my day, and then I feel relaxed. When I see my boy jump on the sofa, I'll close my eye and say it's okay, no problem, go ahead. So children will get very confused. They are not certain. They are not sure. When mommy will scold me, is this the right thing to do? So
mm.
I think this is very inconsistent to many children, and they get confused. They don't feel safe. So this is one of the way we look at non-functional or not too healthy families dynamic.
Mm, mm, understand. Okay, Eva, I'm going to pull up by you question over here before we
Okay.
go in deeper about family dynamics more. I observed that my parents, they have tendency to teach, to give advice. It makes me feel small and annoyed as I grown and learn in life. Now I
Hmm.
limit my communication with my mom and dad.
Yep.
So what is that questions that you want to ask by you if that's the case? Understand your situation. Do you mean
Hmm.
like your parents' pattern will affect and impact? And that is exactly what we are going to talk about if that's your question. Uh, okay, so by you clarify again with you, let me know is that the questions that you want to ask? And I'm gonna ask back
Hmm.
Eva one more thing.
Okay.
So if that's the case, we kind of know like what is a healthy dynamic and what is a not so healthy dynamic. Can we actually consciously create this dynamic or it is actually formed naturally? Like,
Um. With
You
awareness,
get me.
yes. Yeah, with awareness. That's why we need to be very aware of our emotions, of our behavior, and the way we communicate. So as a parents,
Mm,
if we as a parent we are mature enough, then we have to observe the interactions between different children, the way, the personality, the characteristics. So we have to reshapes to make sure that we are diverting to a more functional family dynamic rather than we are actually moving into unhealthy situation. So it is possible to shape, it is possible to form, and we have to do this.
mm. And that is why we have Eva to come on board. And the first thing, when we discuss with Eva, Eva, you know so many things. There are so many topics that we can talk about. What is the main thing that you want to share during the first live talk with Body Mind? So the first thing that Eva said, I want to highlight the family dynamics. And Eva, can you please share with everyone why you emphasize this so much?
Mm. Okay, because throughout my practices, my 20 years practicing in special education industry, I used to focus a lot on children, on special needs. I'm
Mm,
dealing with severe autism. I'm dealing with severe children who cannot pay attention, who cannot speak. I have children who have very mild or very low intelligent level. I have all sort of different children, but for the past 5 to 6 years, I think I draw my attention back to parents, to adults. So I started to give a lot of educational advices. I give a lot of counseling sessions, mentoring sessions to the parent to make sure that whatever happened over here when I'm dealing with children, they know what's going on. Then they have to
mm.
resume the same thing at home. But first thing, they have to change their mindset. They have to be aware
The
that
parent, the
yes, the
parents.
parents have to be aware that they need changes, they need improvement, especially in terms of their communication with the children. Because
Mm.
many they do not accept the fact that my children is slow. Therefore, I have to adopt different strategy rather than I'm comparing this boy with my another girl. How come the daughter, the sister can do this, but you cannot do that? So I have
Mm,
a lot of parents where constantly they are not able to accept the fact. So they are
mm,
using a lot of different approaches, but which are wrong approach, I would say, and this can be very hurtful for the relationship.
mm,
Therefore, I
mm,
think this family dynamic is really very important. Whether you are children, whether you are young adults, or whether you are already adult like us, all right, we need to be aware how we are communicating with our children and how to form a
mm,
stronger family structure, and which can be very,
mm,
very helpful and supportive to the children in their future.
I think this is very important, and also like Ava said, it's a very beautiful journey when you start to have that piece of awareness of what family dynamics are, and also to understand how we as an adult, the parent, how our dynamics, how our emotional well-being affects our children or impact on us, and then when the children grow up, become like us, I believe it will actually continue. And that is where Bayu comes in. And that is what he is asking. I'm going to pull it out. So he is asking, like, what should he be doing right now or act to make it a healthier thing for him? He grow
Okay.
up
Mm.
he grew up to be a person that parents seems to suppress him, I believe. Rather, like what you have advised just now, what you have shared just now, and it kind of now he limit his communication
Mm.
with his parents. So
Mm.
what should he do before we go
Okay.
into case studies later?
All right. So for Bayu, I think what Bayu has mentioned exactly is very similar to what we have discussed just now, right? Isn't it?
Mm,
Because but for example, children like Bayu, when they go for teenage, when they are attending their adulthood, they will tend to adjust themselves, make sure that they are more comfortable. So one way to adjust themselves is to limit the communications with the parent. I would say
and
that this
Eva,
is
sorry
very
to
normal.
interrupt. Yeah, just
Sure.
to interrupt you a little bit. This is
All
one
right.
of the case study that we actually pull it out that we wanted to share with everyone, and we actually have a real audience asking right now. So one of the case
Mm,
study that we prepared was, what if the teenager doesn't want to talk to you anymore, that don't like to be asked, sometimes they even tell lies just so that you don't ask them
mm,
anything. So I believe, when Bayu is sharing with us is somewhere similar. Bayu, disclaimer, I'm not saying that you tell lies to your parents, but you do limit your communication with your
yeah,
parents. And I believe this is a normal situation that Eva has actually come quite a few cases before, yeah, come
yeah,
across.
exactly.
Mm,
Um, when I'm dealing with cases, different cases, I
mm,
mean, first thing I
mm.
will ask them a questions. Do you want to change?
Yes.
Do you really want to change? Do you think changes make you a happier and healthier person? This is one thing that is very, very important, especially for adult. If you were sitting in front a psychologist, you are seeking for opinion and seeking for help. Is this something that you really want to resort to? Or people
Mm-hmm.
force you, or you think there's voices and noises to tell you that, hey, like for example, by you have to seek help. This is not healthy. So what do you think by you? I think this is a very important question. Are you having a good life right now? Do you think that limiting the communications with the parents will restrict you or cause you some uncomfortable feelings and you don't like it and you think it is the right time to change? If you say yes, then I'll go on. If you say no, and I will say good. Because it is up to individual. I wanted to feel more connected with my mom and dad exactly. Therefore, family therapy is very important. It is not Bayu alone can handle this. It has to be when we talk about family dynamic, Bayu, you are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because you, your father, your mother form together. This is called dynamic. So everybody have the
Mm,
same directions that we have to do something to foster our communication so we are more bonded. So this is
mm-hmm.
first thing we have to be really clear about the concept. The
Mm,
second, I know it is very difficult to change parents. Parents might not agree. Hey, I've been living for this age, right? I don't think I have problems. So it's okay. So what Bayu need to do right now is to read more about family dynamic. I'm serious. Do a lot of reading to find out what are your parents' parenting style. Some parents they are very
mm,
authoritative. Some are authoritarian. Some are very neglected. Some are permissive. There are different types of parenting style. So what you need to do
mm-hmm.
is identify that style and then try to get a more comfortable communication channel with your parents. So it is always, I think last few days ago, I shared a Facebook post. I was talking about the communication started with thank you. I mean, we can start off the communications with a very appreciative note by saying thank you. Thank you, the parents. When the parent bring you maybe a food, thank you, mommy. When the father asks you something, thank you, daddy, for asking. So I think that will be able to break the ice at the very beginning,
Mm.
and it will be more comfortable and easier for you to communicate later on. And of course, your parent will
So
be more sensitive to note that, hey, Bayu, there are some changes in Bayu. What happened to Bayu? And they might want to find out more about that. Okay, Christina.
So, so Eva, so this is from the perspective of a grown-up child who has been limiting the communication with the parents, right? How about now I tweak the angle a little bit. We
Okay.
come from the parent angle. So now the parent is facing a teenager who is limiting the communication, who doesn't want to even answer, who's constantly rebellious. And I think
Mm.
all of us gone through that phase as an adult before, I mean as a teenager before. But when a
Okay.
parent really put in this situation, what is your advice to the parent
Okay. If
from
parent
the
want to
parent
change,
perspective?
yeah, it will be very easy if parent want to change. Because when the parents started to come to my office to come to my therapy room, and they sense that there's something wrong about me, right? And I find that I need to work it out. I need to change my way. I think this is already halfway. We are halfway there. Because when the parents are
50%
away,
done deal.
yes, I love it so much. When the parent come and tell you that, hey, Eva, I think something wrong about me, and I want to look for a change. That'll be easier. All right. So I always give parents a few options. That means
Mm,
you want to change, yes, it's possible. Then you have to try to control the thought.
Mm,
Because usually when we talk about unhealthy family dynamic, you will see that parents
mhm,
usually jump into conclusion too fast. They are too judgmental.
mm,
They when the
mm,
children say something and immediately they will interrupt and jump into the conclusion by telling the child, hey, no, this is not correct. You're not supposed to do this. You have to do that. So we are jumping into that conclusion too much. So I think first to increase the listening skill and
wow.
reduce the judgment. No judgment, everything is possible. It's just that we might want to give our child an alternative to resolve or to deal with certain things in their life. So a
Mm,
very, very important reminder, especially when father and mother come together, I'll give them individual tasks to do. When your wife wanted to say something, pull or tap and say shh. So that's very, very effective and it's very, very practical. So when they're trying to practice in front of me, guess what? Usually they will end up laughing, laughing to each other.
it's it's
And
it's like playing monitor to each other, yeah.
yes, that's why I like it so much because when we talk about dynamic, back to dynamic again, it is changing. It is not always I am reminding you because you also play the role to remind me. So end up we foster closer relationship and bonding.
As a couple, you
Yes.
foster closer relationship. As a parent, you also foster closer bonding and allowing the children to feel safe to express themselves.
Yes, yes. So this
Wow,
is one
that's
of the
beautiful,
way that
Eva.
for parents, that's why I love it when the parents come in together and they have the same direction and they wanted to have a change. So it'll be easier, like through reminder for each other. This is one thing, and then covering. I mean, we have to cover for each other, right? We
Mm.
use different points of view to zoom in and then to try to act as a reminder. I think it works very well.
Mm-mm. I'm going to pull out some comment over here. I agree with Eva when my son say thank you. I feel so sweet and appreciated too. So by you, that's a hint for you. You can start doing that no matter how close or how far you are with your parents right now. You can still do that. And technology have make our communication a lot easier and a lot colder at the same time. Depends on how we use it. If we use it correctly with full of love, definitely it's a lot of closer. We have a question over here. What if I had explained to my son very peacefully, but he still think he is right and do not willing to change or accept my suggestion? What can I do? I think this is quite
How
common
old?
to a lot of parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How old is the son?
teenager, if I'm not wrong. I think it's teenager.
Teenager. All right. So
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to us as a parent. Um, is it really very critical for us to step in to stop the behavior or to stop the thought? Critical as in, is
Oh,
it really very, very important? Like for example, when our child want to cross the road and you know that there's an incoming car, this is called very critical. I have to pull him back immediately. Right.
mm-hmm,
But when
mm-hmm,
I see
mm-hmm.
my son want to cross the road and I see a bicycle is riding along the way, but I can estimate that this is not too dangerous. I might just give my child a little bit of hint. Hey, look at your right side. And but when the child look at the right side, oh, okay, there's a bicycle coming. I have to either walk faster or I have to pull back myself to stop. So usually, when I observe parents dealing with children, some parents, they interfere too fast.
Too
They
soon.
already too soon, and then they already have the perceptions or have the mindset that I don't trust you. That means
Ah,
no, you are not going to make it. I don't trust you, so you better don't try. So we already giving this kind of message to our child, and of course nobody will feel comfortable. Christina, do you feel comfortable when your parent keep
no.
giving you the signal that hey Christina, I don't trust you. Are you sure you can do this? I
I
don't
don't
think so.
believe in you. It's like I don't
Yes,
believe in you. I don't
yes,
believe that you can take care of yourself. I don't believe that you will watch out for yourself. Yeah. That kind of
yes.
feeling. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Nobody like it, especially for teenager. They don't like it. Most of them they prefer to try, to feel,
Mm,
even though they might fall down. It's okay. Let them feel the pain. They are going to learn from that.
I hope this answer, and I would like to bring in a second case study to Eva. Let us continue to talk about family dynamics and in different scenario and see who else will resonate with different scenario. So what if usually we take the role as a father that is very hot tempered? It can be a mother as well, yeah,
Mm,
either one. So either one of the parent is very hot tempered, especially when wanting to discipline the children, usually is using a very loud shouting voice with warnings, and also sometimes is threatening,
yep.
and I am just curious, children that grow up in this kind of dynamics, is there any impact that will impact the family, or impact the growth of the child? And
Okay.
also,
Mm.
I grow up with hearing until now, our grandmother's generation, you don't do this, later police come and catch you. It's very common for Asian country, especially Malaysia. It is like every time when you talk about, hey, you grow up, you got hear this mata come and catch you or not. We use the word mata, right?
Mm,
So
mm, mm,
yeah,
mm.
so later when I go into understanding a well-being, understand
Mm.
mental health and emotions, I realize this is a very unconscious threatened strategy as well. But
Yep.
Eva, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I
Okay.
realize this is a very unconscious threaten that you have to behave this. If not, someone will come and catch you and lock you up. So in this kind of situation, or in this kind of dynamics, what is the impact towards the children, and what is the
Okay.
impact on the family itself as a whole?
Okay, I think back to the either father or mother is very hot
Mm,
temper, yelling and
mm,
shouting, right?
mm,
Um, Obviously, when we look at parenting style, this is one of
mm,
the parenting unhealthy parenting style, which is known
mhm,
as authoritarian parenting.
mm,
Authoritarian. So I think I mentioned a little bit at the beginning of the sessions.
mm,
Authoritarian is usually one way. I
mm,
have to say, I set the rules, you uphold the rules, you follow the rules. You don't ask, you don't
mm,
questions, you just do. If you don't do, then I'm going to punish you. So
mm.
according to research, there are three parenting styles which are very impactful. One of it is authoritarian. So
Wow.
children growing up under the authoritarian parenting style, usually they do not
Mhm,
have very happy childhood, and they will
mhm,
usually develop more psychological problem and develop more emotional difficulties in the future.
mm,
It will be very difficult for them to build a trusting relationship with people and of course with their partner
oh,
later on. So
wow.
whatever we experience in our original family dynamic, I will bring
Mhm,
this to grow this into the other, which is my future family. That means I'm going
mm.
to continue the path
This loop,
from one
the path.
generation to another generation. So
Mm,
you were to ask me, is it caused by the family dynamic? The answer definitely is a yes. It's a yes. So some people they are able to change it because they are aware. They know this
mm,
is not healthy. Like maybe Bayu know, this is not healthy. I want to improve my communication with my parents. I'm going to end this. I do not want
mm,
this to affect or influence my future children. I want them to have a good communication with me. So unless
mm,
you are
mm.
very aware of this and you are willing to accept, you are willing to opt for a change, then only it is possible to change it.
Have you come across where parents come to you, and you notice, it's because the dynamic is the case study that we mentioned is because of one of
Hmm.
the parent, or either one of the spouse is in this character, is like it's hot tempered, and they are not willing to change. What have
Yeah.
you come across someone like that?
Okay. This
That they
morning.
will just come and tell you, hey, this is who I am. I'm 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 hot
Yeah.
tempered. I can't control
Mm,
myself. Have
yes,
you come across
I
situation like
have
that?
many cases like this. Too many. Like this morning I met a mother. All right, I think she's good. It's just that she wanted to change, but she doesn't have the correct direction to change it. Yeah, she when she narrated to me about her experiences with this boy, this boy happened to be a teenage boy. Right, he's
Mm-hmm,
a
mm-hmm,
teenage boy. Um, but he has difficulty to interact with people. He has difficulties to utilize the so-called common sense that we used to have. So the mom is a very anxious and is a very impatient woman because she wants things to be fast. Everything has to be fast, and she has two very outstanding daughters. Very,
Wow.
very
So,
outstanding. The sibling. Yep.
mm, mm,
So you will see the comparison. The mom doesn't want to really compare, and the mom know that it is not healthy to compare. But subconsciously, she will compare. How come your two sisters is so outstanding now studying in overseas, maybe medical, maybe study law? How come you're still here and you still don't know that you have to put the thing back to the original position after you use it? So she struggled a lot, she struggled a lot. Therefore, she used to use a lot of punishment
mm,
until the boy they're not voice up, they're not say, and everything has to be okay. Yes.
mm,
So he's no longer have the courageous to speak up his mind. He dare not even voice up his opinion, and he's
mm.
always in a very difficult situation, thinking that I'm useless.
Wow.
At the age of 17 now, he's 17. So can you imagine how many years he has to go on, and he always have the mindset that I'm no good, I'm useless. So I better follow, I better shut up, I better keep quiet because I'm not clever, I'm not good. So we do
Mm.
not want this thing to continue, but I'm glad that the mother brought the boy here. So we try to work it out. And
On both party, is it? Like
yeah,
the mother that
yes.
needs some therapy, the son as well. Is that
Yes,
correct?
exactly, exactly. But just that it might be very challenging for the mom to change. But we'll take one step, and then we'll see how things go. Um, if you were to ask me about my past experiences, I do have parents that come together, and then one mother is very supportive and willing to change, but the partner, the daddy, is not. He doesn't see the problem. He don't think that he is one of it. He is contributing to the problem. To him, this is not my problem, this is your problem. So it will be very, very, very difficult to change. A little bit more when we talk about family problem and issue or family dynamic, it is not in a linear relationship. That means it is always
Mm,
not A causes B. It is always is a
mm.
loop. It's a cycle. That means it's a cycle means we are part of it. So we are responsible to solve the problem together.
So, Eva, when you come across situation like that, what is your advice to the parents who are in different agreement?
Okay, as I said, I do not want to change those who don't think they have problem. That's why ask the questions again. Yes, yes, Christina, it's true. If I don't think in that way, I think I will really burn out. I will really, really burn out, and I cannot sleep. Maybe I will end up depression, really, because it's so much thing I have to step in. So
Mm.
the first question always ask the parent: do you think you need a
How
change?
much, yeah, do you want a change and how much do you want this change to
Yes,
happen?
yes. If the
Wow.
father say no, I don't think so. Of course, we'll carry on the conversation to see whether
Mm-hmm.
we can identify any blind spot, or we can identify
Mm.
any points of the entry that we can enter. If at the end of the
Wow.
day the dad is being so aggressive and he doesn't want it, is very defensive, then we'll end the conversation. But we'll focus on the mother. I mean the other partner. It can be a
Mm,
mother, it can
mm.
be a father. Then we'll try to
Yeah,
build up
yeah.
more resilient. We'll try to build up more mental resilience, emotional well-being, and then we try to teach the mom to look from different angle. But importantly, the changes start from her. So I have
So,
another case. I have another case.
yes,
Sorry for that. I want to share a little bit
now
more.
please continue.
Exactly the similar situation. The dad doesn't want to change. The mom was very, very persistent in changing and changing. She met many, many obstacles. But at the end of the
Mm.
day, when she come back to me and she shared with me, uh, she was very glad because of her persistency, changes in her, changes in the child, and the father see the changes, and the father try to work in a little bit and then to get closer with them and realize that, yeah, he might need a change. This is very
Wow.
exciting. Yeah, this is very exciting. We are so happy about it because the mom never give up, although it's very difficult.
It's also very heart touching to know that, sometimes the consistency and also the willingness to make a change, to make a stop in something that you yourself have had the awareness is not healthy, something that needed to be changed, something needed to be healed, something
Yep.
has to do in a different way in order to have a healthier family dynamic. And I believe that is also one of the motivation that can motivate Eva you to move on. Yeah, like what you say, if you if you do not, behave or have that certain boundaries of saying,
Mm,
okay, unless you're really willing, if not, no point, because
mm.
all changes has to start from um, ourself.
Yep, exactly.
All healing has to start from ourselves as well, even though as a
Yep.
parent, maybe the children is under the category of special need children, but I believe it also starts from us. Yeah, that's what you have
Yep.
been emphasizing. We have one thing here that come back to the teenager. What if he's not aware that his current attitude will not help him in future? Where I feel
Mm.
is critical to highlight, but no matter how much I share, he still insists in his way. Any further
She's a good mother. Really, she's very, very good and worried too much. One
worry too
concept,
much?
yeah, yeah, one concept I think we can try to understand is peer pressure. Peer pressure.
Ah,
That means,
okay.
yeah, sometimes it's very sad to say that I as a mom, how much I talk to you, you might not be able to receive, you might not willing to accept, but maybe a
Mm,
peer, a friends of you, or someone maybe more significant to you, like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, maybe a single word from them, a very simple remarks from them can change your attitude. So we have to work from the other way to look for another alternative. But just now I was saying, the worried too much. Yes, a lot of parents they are so worried that your attitude is not going to help you in the future. Yeah,
mm,
you will definitely meet a lot of difficulties, obstacle if you continue to use
mhm,
this attitude. But as I
mhm,
said, back to me, if I were this mother, I would say go ahead and try, because if you try it, you know it and you will remember. When I tell
mm,
you something, you might not be able to accept. No, no problem. I already give you the insight. I already give you the informations and my experiences. And if you think that you are still right, I would say you can try, and then we can come back and share. You do
mm.
not. I mean, me. I do not close the door. You try. You come back. I'm still here to support you. We go through this together. When
Wow.
you are
So it's
feeling
im-
down, yeah, when
mhm.
you are feeling down, you are being hurt, and you know that, oh, this is not going to work, come back to me, and then we still can talk. So my door is always open for you.
So it's important for the for the parent to have that conscious awareness to create the space or the dynamics to let children know that there is always a fallback support over
Yes.
here waiting
Yes.
for you. You can go out to explore as much as you want, but the support fallback is here waiting for you to catch you.
Yes, correct. And of course, the way we communicate the idea is important, because sometimes we are very impatient. So we will just tell our
Mm,
children, hey, this is wrong. You cannot do this. You have to try that way. So we are too firm, we are too strict, as though, oh, me as a child, if you talk to me in this way, as though I'm really making a very significant mistake in my life.
mm,
But if we were to change another way, yeah, you can try your way. But if, let's say, mommy, for me, if I were you, maybe I will go for B. I will try C. And maybe one day you are willing, you can try B or C. And
mm.
surprisingly, sometimes when the children are being faced with the similar situations, it triggered their memory, and maybe they will opt for B and try, and they'll go for C and try. You never know.
Wow,
So we
that's
need to build
interesting.
the resources. Now, what parents need to do is to build the resources so the children have alternative. It is not only option A, they have option B, option C to deal with their life difficulties.
Mm. And I believe, if the audience, if you have any other questions, please feel free to type it out on the comment box. I will get Eva to answer it at any time that we can. Here, wow, thank you for your advice. Truly helpful. Agree with the peer pressure and also needs to have a lot of patience. Yes.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned and I observed, last weekend, Eva, I went to the park with my primary girlfriends who
Okay.
actually have children already. One of the pair, their children, I think the eldest was about 10, oh, sorry, 11, if I'm not mistaken. Then the
Mm.
younger one is 7 years old this year. So the younger one persists, I want to drink soda. I want to drink soda after cycling. I want to drink soda. So I really observe how patient the parents were. They just say, no, you have your water. And then the boy finish up the entire bottle so that he has more reason to support him to buy the soda from the machine. Then
Mm-hmm.
the dad say that the conversation is very cute, and I was actually enjoying the entire conversation, and I feel like to just share it with everyone over here. So the son said, I want soda right now. I'm very thirsty. The dad said, you have water. I finished the water already. We have one big bottle with us. You can drink our water. Huh? The boy, then we are about to leave. They just stop at the vending machine waiting for us to try their luck. So I said, you guys got no luck today. Trust me. I just say like that as a auntie outside of the circle, right? So then the parents say, no, boys, let's go. So went off, and then closer to the car, the boy persists. So can I try? Can I have it next round when we are here? That's where the father said yes. Then the mother straight away step in and say, we will see and observe the situation next time.
So clever.
Yeah, I was like, wow. This entire
Yeah.
conversation is on and off for like what, at least
Yeah.
5 times. I
Yeah.
really observed the patience that my friends, this couple has. They did not get annoyed. They did not get frustrated or like, why
Mm.
you keep asking, why you keep asking. I said no, why did you ask again? They just turn the situation. You have your water, and then finish the water. We have the water. Finish the
Yes.
water.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting to observe this communication
Mm,
style, and I
mm.
I observe and I learn a lot. Like, wow, they are really patient, and they encourage the son to express himself.
Correct.
The son can
Correct.
continue to persist whatever he want to insist on whatever he want. I can still say no.
Correct. So, correct. So this is just exactly opposite of authoritarian. This is
Mm.
authoritative, which is a very
Okay.
healthy authoritative. Authoritative also parents set the rules, but parents allow children to voice. You can say what you want. You can say what you want, but I have the right to say yes or and I have the right to say no. So this is a very healthy. This is also one of the very important parenting style in the family dynamic, which can have a very positive impact on children's future. So good.
Wow. Yeah, I must, I must get my friends. Hey, come and watch our professor say you good.
Hmm.
Well, Eva, let's go into the third case study that we prepare for all the audience. Yeah, while we are having fun, I really enjoy our conversation and I learned so much about family dynamics. But one of the things I believe, some of the parents might be facing as well, which is if the children they kind of have the habit to steal,
Mhm.
like stealing money, stealing something from parents, um, is it is does it really because of the family dynamic that contributed to this children behavior, or it might be something else? And
Mm.
also, what should the parents do
Okay.
in this situation?
Um, we have to admit that family really play a very important role. We have to
Mm.
admit that. Talking about stealing, when we try to understand more about stealing, say some people they steal the thing not because they want to fulfill in terms of material.
Mm.
It is not because they do not have the money to buy. It is not because if I tell my mom, I need to buy this, maybe the mom will give you the money to buy this. But we have to think, why are they using or resort to these strategies like stealing? What is the
Mm.
intentions? What are the message they are trying to produce? Okay, what are the things they are trying to fulfill? I think this is a very interesting topic. When we talk about stealing, we always have a very negative remarks that this is wrong. This
Mm.
is the wrongdoing. You're not supposed to do this. Like what Christina said, later the mata will come and catch you. Right. This is usually the immediate idea that we wanted to teach
Response.
our children. Yes, the response. We do not want our children to repeat. But when we are trying to stop the behavior, but we didn't solve the problem because we are not looking at this problem from psychological perspective. What
Okay.
is the real intention behind it? Is it to seek for attention? Is it to seek for recognitions? You'll
Mm-hmm.
be surprised, huh? Stealing also can be recognized. Something that they managed to do it successfully without being caught. Is the recognitions to
Wow.
them? Yes, they are trying to look for those kinds of psychological in a way that fulfill their psychological needs. So
Mm.
when we understand the intention, the behavior, yeah, the intention behind the behavior, we get back to the family, the whole structures, we look at the family. So
Mm.
usually you will notice that it is either parenting style is the neglected parenting style or
Mm-hmm.
permissive. Means everything you want, I give it to you. So until there's no
Mm.
challenges, I do not need to work hard to get the things that I want. So when I
Wow.
go out, I want to prove myself. I can get everything that I want. Just like when I tell mommy, mommy will say yes. When I tell daddy, daddy will say yes. Nobody is going to stop me. So that might lead me to resort to another challenging behavior. I'm trying to challenge myself, right? And
Mm.
some parenting style is too authoritarian. So the
Mm.
children
Mm.
do not have the channel. They need to channel out. So one way is to go through that process because it gives
Mm-hmm.
them a lot of stimulation and satisfaction.
Nice, nice. So in the end, for the parent, it would be take this chance to have a conversation with your child or your children so that you can really understand the intention behind. And I believe it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of emotion awareness as well because usually parent will can't be able to maintain their cool in the conversation, and it might
Yes.
not end well in that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Usually the parents will only point to the boy and say wrong. This is wrong. But as I said, this is not linear perspective. It is supposed to be a systemic perspective. It's a circle. Anyone in the family is having the problem, like having inappropriate behavior. It is not one person problem. So we have to sit down, like what you said, a communications. Then we have to put ourselves in a circle, and then to identify where are we going to cut this circle. It might
Wow.
be from me as a mommy. It might be from daddy. It might be from us as a parents, or it can be from
Mm.
no the whole
The
circle
entire
as a family.
environment.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. I think this is a more reasonable way to solve the problem.
Wow. Okay, okay, Eva. Thank you so much. I have fun talking with you, and time fly really fast. And I'm gonna extend it a little bit because we talk about how important family dynamic is, how it can impact us as an individual and
Mm,
as along the journey of the growth for the child. If let's say, right, whoever that is listening right now really kind of like have that awareness that hey, something is off in my own family dynamic. How can we find or restore back the balance in the family? Eva, do you
okay,
have any advice or tips for
okay,
audience to
okay. I really like the way you say be aware. they are aware of that they are having problem. I think this is very, very important, and this should be the first step, because we can't do
Mm,
anything that we are not aware of. Just like
mm,
my specialized area is in educational psychology. I can teach educations, I can teach psychology, but you can't ask me to teach engineering, because I do not know anything about engineer, and of course I do not know what I do not know in engineering.
yes.
So therefore, it is very important that we are aware that something is not right. First step, and then second, seek for advice. And that
Mm,
advice can come from Mr. Google, right? Go for Mr. Google, type family dynamics, type parenting style, type how to restore the balance. I think you will get tons of information and resources, right? Pick up the one that you need. And the third thing, what you need to do is really look for someone, a professional, like a family therapist or therapist that you think you can trust, and he or she is able to help you to see the blind
mm,
spot and to guide you, to encourage you to take changes in a very small little step. I think this is important.
mm.
But what I really, really want to stress during this conversation is our communications is very important. We have to express our thought, we have to express our feeling. And I noticed that a lot of adults, they do not express. Even
Mm.
in a family, husband and wife, right, they do not talk to each other. The only thing they talk to each other is, do you want to come back for dinner? Dinner is served. Okay, now, yeah, we are talking about daily thing, but we are not sharing about how do you feel today, right? What is your opinion about this? I feel good because I met someone today. I feel bad because I encountered some difficulties today. We are no longer
Mm.
in those sharing mode. We are always talking about our daily life, like you pick the boy from tuition center.
Action.
Okay, yes, you do this, and then you drop by the shop and get me one soya sauce, for example. Those are not
Mm.
communication. Yeah, so it can be quite sad. I remember I have one case previously when I asked the mommy, asked the mother, do you communicate with your better half, with your husband?
Mm.
She would say, yes, of course, we talk every day. So what's the conversation about? So it is all about daily things, like, hey, go and take your shower. Hey, the shirt is, I have ironed your shirt already. Hey, tomorrow remember to wake me up at 6:30. So those are not communication.
Mm.
Those are not a real communication. It should be something
A
that
heart
really comes
bonding.
from your heart.
Heart
Yes,
bonding.
yes. I like the way you dress today. I find that you are so special today. You know, something that you really appreciate and you really want the other person to know about it. I think this is very beautiful and very important.
Wow. I think that would be the last takeaway from Eva. And I told Eva before the live, I'm going to have a special question for you. And you actually answered it yourself already without me
Okay.
throwing it out. And
Mm-mm.
usually my special question is, so what is the last takeaway that, you wish to shout out to the audience? And you have already shouted it out loud. Dear audience,
Mm.
dear parents, communication between the two of you shape a healthy family dynamics for your next generations as well. I believe that is what Eva is trying to stress and emphasize, and she has been emphasized since the very beginning of the live talk when we touch on the topic family dynamics. And all changes, big or small, starts from ourselves. Whether we are willing, whether we are aware, and whether we want to pursue and persist to create and restore back a balanced family dynamic. And I love our conversation today. And for anyone who wish to actually communicate or keep in touch with Dr. Eva, you can communicate with her through email eva@happyland.edu.my, or even drop us a message over here or a comment over here. We will then pass it to Eva as well. So, Eva, thank you very much for spending a beautiful afternoon together with us over here to talk about family dynamics. And you know what? I can't agree with you more that family is very important. Family shape who we are. In a way, family is actually the soil that form the foundation of our character and our attitude as well. And we can really see, like what you have shared, if the children grow up in a healthy dynamics, they are expressive, they are confident, they feel safe to express
Mm.
whatever it is with their parent. And I believe the modern parents, and this is most of the modern parents are looking forward to as well. So we hope to have you back soon to talk about something else, and it's going to be fun again, with Body Mind Soul Live Talk. Thank you, Eva, and thank you everyone who have been joining us. We hope to see you next week. Next week we will have our workshop facilitator Michael to come on board and share with us about the wisdom of love, why he wants to share or conduct this workshop that is free for everyone. So with that, I'll say goodbye, and goodbye to you, Eva. Thank you very much
Thank
for staying
you.
with us. Anything else that you want to shout out once lastly?
Okay. Okay. One last thing. Positive or negative, or whether you like it or not, we have to admit that every one of us are deeply rooted in our family. So the way we behave, our emotions, our character, our personalities are shaped by our family dynamic. So if we want to continue the good dynamic, we carry on. If we do not want to carry on what we experienced before, then we must shout for a change. All right. I wish
Wow, that
everybody a good luck, and I hope to see everybody again.
Wow, bye bye. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, and have a good weekend to all the audience. Bye.